What's up, YouTube? My name is Paladin here, and thank you guys for tuning into the very first episode of the Mute All podcast, or talk show, whichever one you guys prefer. Basically, the point of this talk show, podcast, YouTube series, we are going to be documenting and just going over results from our region, the NA/LCS, for League of Legends, if you guys don't know, and like I said, every week we'll do this, preferably going to be on Mondays. If Tuesday comes around and it's not out, it's probably because I'm adding a bunch of stuff to it. But we're just going to talk, just kind of recap what happened, give my thoughts, a very unbiased opinion on what went down, and see if you guys agree with me or not. So I was going to make a podcast just for week one, and I kind of thought to myself, well, TSM 0-2. If TSM can take a week off, so can I, right? No, but honestly, I didn't think I had enough data to go off of just to start at week one. I felt going into week two, at least we have 4 games for every team to play through, and we have a little more juice. That way we can talk about it, and so here we are now. Hopefully you guys all had a good weekend. I did. I was basically Saturday and Sunday, I did not move from my computer. I watched every single game, mainly because I didn't have to work, but I really wanted to see a lot of these matchups. So we'll actually go through here and actually just talk about, first of all, just the standings. And I don't know if a lot of you guys did just sort of like power rankings of where you think these teams would place, but truthfully, the way that I had my power rankings, if you guys I had a power rankings video that I put on my channel about 2 weeks ago, so if you guys wanted to go check that out, I really picked a lot of this stuff right, and I'm actually very, very surprised because, except for the Echo Fox, I did not have Echo Fox being first, but a lot of the stuff, you know, I picked 100 Thieves to come out very, very strong. Obviously TL, Clutch kind of had him in the middle of the pack. And then obviously Golden Guardians, Optic Gaming, it's pretty easy to say that they were going to be the worst teams coming out of week one and obviously into week two. So the standings right now, if you guys haven't looked at it, we have Echo Fox sitting at 4-0. Cloud9, 100 Thieves, and TL are all tied for second place at 3-1. Clutch Gaming and FlyQuest are tied for fifth with a 2-2 record. Then you have TSM, CLG, and Optic Gaming all sitting with 1 win and 3 losses, and then Golden Guardians with the donut. So, thoughts. I'm pretty impressed. I was pretty impressed how the franchising went, because probably like a lot of people, I was a little not nervous, but I didn't know what to expect with how the franchising was going to go. You know, all these new teams, we didn't know how quick they were going to blend, you know, and I'm very happy with how everything has turned out. I think all of these teams have potential. Some of them obviously more than others, but I think every team here has potential. And the really nice thing is that there's no more, these orgs are here to stay. You know, you're going to see these guys here, just like in football, basketball, baseball, hockey. These teams are going to be around unless they're bought out by a different company and then they change their names. This is what you're going to be rooting for the next 10, you know, probably 10 plus years. And that's nice. That's nice to know. You know, I was if you guys were not around the scene, I think it was season 5, it was about season 5, season 6. There was a team called Winter Fox. I was a big fan of Winter Fox. I really liked the logo. I liked the players on there at the time. They were around for a split, I think, and then they left, you know, obviously getting kicked. Then you have Gravity, which was another team. It's nice to actually have some stability. Now we can actually build League of Legends as a potential, I wouldn't say a potential, but a future sport for years to come, where people can now root for their team, and they don't have to worry about their team getting relegated if they're, you know, at the bottom of the bracket. So, but going into the teams here, I don't think anybody expected Echo Fox to be 4-0 after 2 weeks. If you did, you're probably lying, because there's not a single reason why you would pick Echo Fox to being number 1 at that being 4-0 at the end of 2 weeks. No one saw that coming. I don't even think Rick Fox saw that coming, honestly. And he's like, I gotta play against TSM. Gotta play against Cloud9. I don't know. Probably gonna come out 2-2. No, they 4-0, and they're doing this off of the back of. I mean, everyone's playing well, but Huni and Dardoch, I said this in my power rankings video. I gave these guys both an A ranking. I felt like they could easily be the best player in their position this split. They can. It can happen, and right now it's looking that way. I don't think this Cinderella story, this FlyQuest X story that happened a season ago, I don't think this is going to continue. They haven't played against TL yet. They haven't played against. I think TL is really the only team they have not touched yet. They haven't played 100 Thieves either, right? Yeah, they haven't played 100 Thieves yet. So that's something else too. If those are the two teams that have potential to be number 1 and number 2. Next week they play against CLG and Echo Fox, so they'll probably end up being 6-0. And then week 4 they play against TL on Sunday. They also play against Golden Guardians, so they're going to be around 7-1. Maybe they could be 8-0. I don't see them beating TL. I don't think they're as good as TL. I don't think they're as good as 100 Thieves. I honestly don't think they're as good as Cloud9. I think the big part about this is going to be how the meta plays into these guys. But we'll go down the line and keep going with these teams. I'll get into the meta a little bit later because it does frustrate me a little bit. Cloud9, 100 Thieves, TL, pretty confident with these teams. I picked all of them to finish very high in the playoffs, top 5 range. 100 Thieves actually surprises me just a little bit, just with how their chemistry is. This team could easily have been 4-0, and they play like that. Obviously they got stomped by Cloud9, but I think that game could have easily went a little bit differently. I don't think the meta fits this team very well, and that actually is a little bit scary, because if they get a better sort of, if the meta swaps here in the next few weeks, I think 100 Thieves may just go undefeated the rest of the year, depending on how the meta goes, just because they have a strong player in each one of their lanes. TL, same thing. I think this is the most dominant. This may be one of the most dominant teams that we've had in League of Legends. Just from a player, just by on paper, player to player, impact, Ole, Xmithy, Pole Builder, Double Lift. They have probably the best, if not the second best player at every single role. This team is better on paper than the Immortals team that went undefeated. Obviously they're 3-1, they're not 4-0. I think, like I said, a little bit also with the meta. It's not. I think that, and just needing a little more time to gel. Clutch Gaming, FlyQuest. I'm not too shocked by them both being 2-2. But the big surprise here, in Optic Gaming and Golden Guardians, I had them 9th and 10th respectively. So we're not even really going to talk about those teams too much. I will touch on Optic Gaming here in a second, but the big surprise for me, more so, a little bit different than, saying, okay, well, no one expected Echo Fox to be 4-0. I don't think anybody expected TSM and CLG to both be 1-3. Both of these teams look awful. I didn't think CLG was going to play great this season, but I thought they'd come out the gate at least 2-2. I don't see how they can be this bad. This team, you can really see that they miss Aframu. They really, really do. Reignover doesn't seem to be in form yet. He doesn't seem to be the Reignover of 2016. Stixxay looks pretty pretty dang awful. Stat-wise, he's let's see. Stat-wise, he's in the bottom portion of the league here. 48% kill participation, 9.6 CS per minute. Just not, this was the guy who CLG dropped double lift to get, saying he was where we're gonna have our focus around, and it just ended up not really being that. And then without Aframu, people put too much on Biofrost. Say, oh, Biofrost he's just as good as Aframu. He's gonna come in here. He's gonna change everything. Biofrost. He's not good enough to do that. I don't think right now. I think maybe eventually. I just don't see it. And their bot lane looks awful. Who he is. I mean, he's never going to be the best mid laner in North America. He's never even going to be the best player on their team. He's a very solid player. He's like anytime you play like Mario Kart or anything else like that, how Mario and Luigi are always like the balanced character, no matter like if it's like Mario Tennis, baseball, Mario Kart. They're not in the power ranking, like the power category. They're not in the speed category. They're always balanced. That's who he is. He's Mario or Luigi. He's in that area where he's like, I'm not going to win lane, not necessarily going to lose lane all the time, but I'm just going to do a little bit of everything and just fill up the stat sheet and just be here. You guys can carry me. And I said this at the beginning. I wanted Darshan to be the carry of this team for even when they got Stixxay. I wanted him to be the carry, and they tried. They actually tried to do that in both these weeks, and Darshan got ahead. I think there was 2 games. I can't really recall off the top of my head which 2 games. I think it was week 1. The 100 Thieves game. No, it wasn't 100 Thieves game, was it? I think it was the Clutch Gaming. Yeah. It was against Clutch Gaming. He played really well. He was actually like, okay, I'm going to carry, and he didn't do it. They fell, and that's really concerning if you're CLG, because they spent all this money to get Rain over. They got Biofrost. Like, okay, we have a solid team, and on paper you'd say, okay, there's no way this team doesn't make playoffs. They may be out of playoffs, and maybe next week if they don't do a clean sweep, this team may be looking out playoffs, which is very, very frustrating if you're CLG. I don't think it's time to make a roster change. I think they just need a little more time to gel, but they got to gel a little bit quicker. Speaking of gelling and disappointments, TSM may be the biggest disappointment of North America in 2018 so far. I mean, we have Cloud9 just won the CSGO majors over the weekend. Fantastic, finally, that a North American team can actually win something. But on the complete opposite side, TSM sitting at 1-3 as the reigning North American champions, as the juggernaut that is TSM, that has been around since the beginning, the dawn of the LCS, has been the most dominant team. And they look like they've never played League of Legends before. Like, I'm a plat, mid-plat, low diamond player. I feel like I've had Sven and Mithy in my placement games over the weekend. Like, my bot lanes have been garbage. That's what TSM looks like. They're terrible. It's completely, it's unexcusable. And to me, like, Reggie, I don't know Reggie personally. Obviously, I've never met him. I can only go off of what I've seen. He seems like he has a lot of passion, but also he seems like he doesn't give a fuck sometimes. And I don't know why that is. I don't know. Maybe it's just he's doing it to, obviously in front of the camera, like ha ha ha, kind of thing. But he's sitting here making bets at the beginning of the season, saying, oh, put $10,000 up for charity. We're gonna smash everybody, yada yada. And then he comes out and plays 1-3. Are you kidding me? You can't talk shit and almost get beat by Optic Gaming. Like, get beat by FlyQuest. You can't do that. especially if you're TSM. This is like Golden State. This is like the Golden State Warriors not making the playoffs or not making the finals and getting beat by like the Clippers or OKC or something. Like, this shouldn't happen. Sven, the quote-unquote best AD carry in the West, is sitting at the bottom of the league. Bottom of the league. He's what? What, 75% kill participation? He has a 4-0 KD. I mean, he's doing better than Stixay, Wild Turtle, and Deathly. But those are all bottom teams. Like, he's not doing anything. Mithy at least is roaming and trying to get things done. Sven just looks very bad. Very bad. And this is who you drop for Double Lift? Who's sitting at an 87% kill participation, over 10 CS a minute, an 18 KDA ratio. This is who you dropped him for? Couldn't get Cody-san, who's sitting at second? Hell, even Alltech is doing better than Sven. No disrespect to Alltech, but you can't say that this guy's the best AD carry in the West and comes out here and plays like a bronze level AD carry. It's disgusting. I believe it was the first game. No, it was week 1 when they played against FlyQuest. There was a fight in their base around their mid inhib, and I believe Sven was playing Kog'Maw, and he walks. There was a Flame was playing Gnar. I believe this is how the game went, and they're just kind of trading back and forth. They're trying to stop the Baron wave from pushing into their turret, and Sven just walks in front, just walks directly, like maybe like 400 pixels away from the Gnar, and Flame just like, okay, just gonna flash and ult you into the wall. Game's over. No suspense. There was no giant team fight where it's like, oh, there's a bunch of outplay. Nothing. He just walked forward and died. And as an AD carry, as a rookie, I expect someone like Deathly to make that decision, or Rikara, who is an academy level, and anybody who's in the challenger scene who has not played on the big stage, you would expect that from them. It's like, okay, that's just rookie nerves. But this is a 3-time EU split champion. We've been together for 3 years from G2. You're telling me you're making this mistake? Get the fuck out of here. It's unexcusable. And I'm not a TSM fan, but I wonder how they're feeling. If you're a diehard TSM fan, you see this, you're like, wow. It's like the Cavs when they traded Kyrie Irving for Isaiah Thomas. It's just like, really? This is what we got? Now, I don't think even Sven's the biggest problem. I do think Mike Young is probably the source of a lot of this. He's playing, like, there's 2 games in particular. I think the first game where he played against TL, he played Shyvana, and then there was a game this weekend where he played Evelynn, and he's farming like he has the old Devourer jungle line. He's like, oh, I need to get my stacks, and he's not doing anything, especially with a champion like Evelynn. I understand Shyvana a little bit. You want to hard farm with Shyvana, get Dragon at level 4, level 5, and then just continue to farm until you hit 6, and then go and gank once you have your ult up. But Evelynn, you should be trying to charm flash, make plays in mid lane, get your all-star mid laner ahead, help your garbage bot lane out by trying to gank him. Do something. It just seems like he's not really there yet. And this is another case where they miss their shot caller. With CLG, Aphromoo was their shot caller. Double Lift was this team's shot caller, and without Double Lift, they just look really lost. Everyone expects Bjergsen to be that guy, but he's never been that guy. He's not very outspoken. He's very quiet. He likes making calls when they're doing good, but when they're not, he kind of shadows away and just kind of focuses on himself. And he kind of has that mentality. I won't say he has the mentality of like, oh, I'm doing my job, you guys need to pick up the slack. But he's like, okay, I'm not gonna talk to anybody. I'm just going to focus on getting. Maybe I can carry the game if I can do A, B, and C. And that's an okay attitude to have. But you need another shot caller on the team. Hanser, I don't think is doing it. Mithy's supposed to be that guy, but he's so lost. They just look so lost. It's really sad to see. I think TSM can maybe turn it around. Who do they got next week? So they got Golden Guardians, which should be a win. That should be a win. If everything, I mean, who knows? I mean, this is the two bottom teams right now. They should be able to get a win out in Golden, against Golden Guardians, and then they play against 100 Thieves. I don't see them being 100 Thieves, but they can at least maybe start getting some momentum back against Golden Guardians, and maybe start getting on the right track. That way, week 5, week 6, they can start picking up steam and just start steamrolling the competition and getting into playoffs. Right now, it looks pretty grim for them. Yeah, I don't want to spend any more time on TSM. There's so much that I can say about TSM that just bugs me. But we'll let it go for now. Next team I wanted to talk about is Optic Gaming. Now, Optic Gaming is sitting at 1-3, but this team could easily be 3-1. They played TL very well, played TSM really well. I'm actually very impressed. I had them not winning a game this split, and I think that's not a far-fetched thing to say, but every game that they've lost, they've played really well, and they don't have any no one's breaking their roles and their roles limitations and saying this guy is the breakout star of this team. They're playing good together. And this meta really allows teams to do that. That's why you're seeing a team like Echofox, who their bottom 3 players, they're Altec, Phoenix, and Adrian, they're not on anybody's radar as being a top 3 in their position, maybe even top 4. These guys are just filler players, to be completely honest with you. And then you have your all-star level top laner and your all-star level jungler. It's not a great team. But because of how this meta plays out, they're able to get games, establish maybe an early lead, or come back from being down early and push the game to 40 minutes, and then they're able to win just by making less mistakes than the other team. And that's what we're seeing here. And I don't think this meta is extremely unhealthy. I don't think a lot of people like watching 50-60 minute games that have under 10 kills. It's not really exciting to watch. You have the Tom Kenches, the Orens, the Brahms, just a bunch of shields with Knight's Vow and Locket. It lasts forever. It's exhausting as a fan. I would like to see the meta change a little bit. I think, all right, I guess honestly, the thing that these players need to do, and I'm hoping that somebody tries to do it next week, is trying to break the meta. So there's these picks that I've come up with. I call them break picks. Very, very, very simple. But these are picks that can influence the meta to change in the future. We saw it, I believe season 4 it was, where we had Shyvana, Renekton, and Mundo were the 3 top laners that everybody played. You basically, if you played Shyvana, okay, you play Renekton. You played Renekton, or if you played Shyvana, you played Mundo. If they played Mundo, you'd play Renekton. If they play Renekton, you play Shyvana. Somebody eventually brought Trundle into that, and Trundle was able to break that top lane meta, and people started playing Trundle a lot more. I think something like that needs to happen. So, speaking of Trundle, there are maybe 2 or 3 champions in the game that these teams can pick up, whether it's in the support role, the top role, or even the jungle, that can influence these sort of games. Nasus being one. We saw Khan do it last year. Nasus is one. Nautilus, which I don't think he would break the meta, but he would definitely incorporate another very strong pick potential top laner or support. And Trundle would probably be the other one. Trundle is a tank killing bruiser. So I mean, you put him up against an Orin or a Braum or something like that, and have a bunch of tank stats. You just ultimate take all their tank stats. I don't know. Maybe it just seems weird that I can sit here behind my computer screen and come up with these, these ideas. Oh well, this would work better. And obviously, I'm not a pro, so these are just my opinion. But I feel like these coaches, these players, these analysts who are on these teams, they should be trying to come up with something else instead of just playing the same old meta. It baffles me every time I see it. It's like, okay, guess we're gonna pick Maokai for the 10th game in a row, or okay, we can only play Varus and Tristana because we can't play anything else. It just seems very weird, I think that was really it that we wanted to talk about here. Bash TSM. The other thing I did want to talk about, we have I'm going to incorporate a little segment at the end of these shows called Report and Honor. So what the concept of this segment is, basically I pick one team, one player, somebody who, if you were in solo queue, you would report them for something. We'll talk about what they're getting reported for, and why that, and explain why that is. And then also on the other side of it, we'll also do a honor player, team, etc., and we'll go into it and talk about why. So we'll start here with my first report would be, you guys could probably guess this by the way I was talking about him, but TSM minus Bjergsen. I think the entire team should be reported for refusing to communicate. It seems like there are a bunch of very good players just kind of lost in their own misery. Like, everyone seems to be just doing their own thing, and they kind of get it together for like 5 minutes, and then it just falls apart. There's no structure to this team, and it really sucks for Bjergsen because he's doing literally everything he can in a lot of these games, and he's just getting worn out. He can't carry this team. If Faker cannot carry a washed up group of ex-world champions and just random Korean players, he's sitting at what, 0-3, 1-3, something like that. There needs to be some change. And for TSM, I believe if they don't make playoffs this split, I think there will be a team change. I don't think Reggie's the kind of person to, although I do think he's kind of carefree and doesn't care as much as he should, at least from a perspective, a viewer's point of view, a viewer's point of view, that's really stupid to say, but a viewer's opinion is, I don't think he cares that much, but if he does, he'll look at this and say, okay, we didn't make playoffs, or we barely made playoffs. We're going to make a change. I think the big thing would be looking into a different jungler. I don't think Mike Young is really ready to play at the LCS. He looks worse than Omar God did last year. But yeah, I would report them. We're going to hit the report button on them. Refusing to communicate for TSM. Now, on the flip side, we'll talk about an honor. And I didn't go too much into detail with this guy or the team, but we'll do a little bit of that now. My honor would go to I said Kane. Keen from FlyQuest. He would be getting my honor for the first 2 weeks. I would be giving him the tilt-proof honor. Now, reason why, FlyQuest is sitting at 2-2. Most people probably wouldn't pick them for 2-2, especially beating a team like TSM. But when you look at how Keen has played, he's not doing anything flashy, but this is a player who, in my opinion, should be starting not as a sub just because your starting mid laner has visa problems, but he should be starting over a few different mid laners, in NA. He's a homegrown talent, so you don't have to use an import slot for him, and he's playing pretty well. Like I said, he's not doing anything crazy. The one thing I will say, when you look at his kill participation, he has a 92.1 kill participation. That is higher than anybody else in the league. He is a part of basically every kill or assist or KS that he can get his hands on. This is a very good thing to have from your mid laner, because he's playing aggressive, he's playing with the team, and there is some synergy going on there. Now, obviously, when he goes back to the bench, and Fly comes in, how is this team going to react? We don't know, but as of right now, Keen would get the honor for weeks 1 and 2. All right, I think it's going to wrap it up here on the show. We will be back next Monday with week 3 results. If there's some things that I didn't talk about and you guys wanted me to discuss, leave a comment in the comment section below. And also like and subscribe if you guys like this sort of content. And I'll see you guys next week.